over so people can sit. Somebody can sit in my seat there. Come in, whoever's out there, and sit up here. Sit over here, 2 seats here. Teva,
This is my jacket, so I'm
that's your jacket, see? Teva and Olivia and whoever's there, come. Come sit there, you can sit, I'm gonna sit on my seat. Come on, people from there, come in. And child, either leave or come in here. Leave or come in here. Take your choice. You want me to come after you and get you to leave or come in here? You have a
Punish
choice.
them.
You either come in this room or leave. Gordon, Steph. Gordon, come in. Come in. We're going to do. We have to respect our performers. Okay, people. Here's your test for today. What's this? A
Garlic.
Right. Ginger.
Rhizome. How did you know?
Rhizome
A
of ginger.
rhizome. A botanical marvel. A rhizome.
But it's ginger.
What's this? A ball. A ball. That's what's going to draw
Everything
the
has a
midnight.
name.
Okay, is everyone in? Come on in, the rest of you. Come on in, there's a seat here. There's my seat.
Who shall I
I'm going
award this to? Let's put it here.
Put it right here. Okay. We have a series of performers. We're going to start with Stephen Kaplan. We're going to go
Only
on to
'cause I'm
Olivia
docile.
Calvin. And then we're going to go on to, who's the next person? Alan, what's your last name, Alan?
Chorn.
Torn. And then we're going to go on to Susan Young. And if anyone else wants to perform, we'll take a
Susan,
little
I didn't know
break.
you were going to perform.
What time is it? About 10 after 10?
10 after 10.
10 after
Okay,
10.
so we'll get all the performances, and I'm going to introduce Steve and Rick. You're going to do something too?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with Stephen. I've known so many Kaplans in my life. Kaplan, my dearest friends.
I have something memorized. I was told.
Come up here.
I have to come up there.
Come up there, yes. In the.
You stay there. I can.
Spot, no, you're in the spotlight. I get out of the spotlight.
You want me to sit in that chair?
Yeah, sit in that chair. That's the.
I want to sit in that chair.
Sit in that chair.
Learning the rules.
Minerva chair. Behave yourselves. I know you all want to misbehave. Because you're normal and
It's the
human.
ball.
Let's welcome Stephen Kaplan. Oh, the ball. You go to one side of the ball.
I'm under the ball.
Under the ball.
So she said bring something. I said I have it in my head. So it's memorized.
Quiet, everyone.
It's like a party favor, and it's in a language that no longer exists. Anybody got an idea what it might be? No, Yiddish still exists.
Well, it sort of exists. It's an old form of a language.
It's Middle English.
Middle English.
So now you know what I'm going to do. So I don't even have to do it now.
Loudly sing.
Okay, it's the first 18 lines. One that April, the shore sota, the drought of March has passed to the rota, and bathed every vein and swish record, of which virtue and gender is the floor. One zephyr is egg with the sweeter breath, inspired hath in every halt and heath, the tender croppus, under the younger sun hath in the ram his half cozy run, and smaller folders maken melodea, that slepen all the night with open air, so prickelt him nature in hier courage, then longen folk to go on pilgrimage, and palmers for to saken strong stranders to fan highways, couth in sundry landers, and specially from every shearer's end of England to Canterbury they wende, the holy, blissful martyr for to sake that him hath holpen one that they forsake. And a lot of the pronunciation is probably wrong, but the good thing is that no one knows exactly how to pronounce. So I didn't even have to tell you that. I could have said anything as long as I got the words right. The sounds don't matter, but I've listened to a recording or two. It's online. You can hear it. Some of the long vowels are short. Some of the short vowels are long. And my ball game is over.
Now, may I introduce Elizabeth Hillman reading a poem about her father. Right? Everyone listen now, because try to blast your voice so that they hear.
Oh,
That was like
thank
an
you.
appetizer. Short.
That's so interesting because my father taught me that Chaucer. Stephen,
What did I do?
your Middle English is, I think, better than mine.
Well, my Middle English is incorrect. Yours might be
Well,
correct.
mine's incorrect. I don't think so.
Sorry.
Well, I'm going to read. I was going to read two poems, but I think I'll start with something, I hope, a little lighter. We need humor. This is, the second one's about my father. This one's about an uncle, not of mine, but it's called Victor. There are 4 points to a compass, said Linda's uncle Victor, omniscient from his wheelchair and hooked to his oxygen tank. I chose one of them. He's dying slowly of, quote, everything. Emphysema, bohemian high life in Paris after the war, women, men, murals, too much alcohol in Paris, alcohol on the Bowery, too much hunger, darling, too much thirst. Resurrected by his brother in Queens, by medicine and nonconformist priests, gay nuns, he's nursed by his niece, and courted by cronies, young men in love with resilience. We sit, metaphorically, at his feet, while he jokes, oracular, talking his memoirs all day, all night, meditating on prisons, watching porno films, handing out sage sex advice. Just tell him to get an extension. They have these things nowadays. One night, we admire old photographs. Victor, existential, in his black turtleneck, blasting the Quartier Latin with sparks. Celestial, Peggy Guggenheim, turbaned, sequined, flying high on ostrich feather angel wings, all rococo for carnival. And their lover, a Greek god, earthbound in mossy green corduroy. When cranky, he called us bubble girls, chastised Linda for getting herself up like a mummy in babushkas, yelled at fever pitch, 2 fists in the air. You're both out of touch with reality, babushka slave girls in hell. Pre-answering machine, I got ambushed by telephone tirades and contrition. Telephone tirades and contrition, like a victim hit by a silencer, one ear at a time, getting stuck to the sweaty receiver. There were long, long, indecipherable letters with watercolor rainbows and the word love inscribed underneath. It was sad, but a relief when he finally died, reluctant, released from tumult, leaving Linda his soothing environment tapes, rainstorms, ocean songs of the humpbacked whale, his crystals, his VCR. This is the father poem. I was inspired by Minerva. So this poem's called Spring Can Really Hang You Up the Most. The dead miss us. Their sinuous tulip-stained messages coded out of dreams, pollen and black-parted stamen dusting the pillows. I've inhaled your death 1,000,000 times. How many mornings, how many visits? My veins expand in spring. The right side of my brain blossoms like slow buds, blackthorn flowering on a bough. I get bent by March winds. Pitiless sheets tossed like sails, like rigging descended out of sleep. I tack an anatomical vessel. Out of the hard, bright sky, a Thracian north wind blowing. The ancient Greeks respected spells. Pyromancy. This morning you sit jovial, denting the edge of the bed, fishing my way, nursing it. Red mustache, unfaded, plentiful hair, a bronze corona, 71 years old, sheepskin jacket. It's cold where you came from. My father. My mother's delighted, on the sidelines, still alive. I'm stretching disheveled, plumped up on pillows, topping your joke, and just before waking, I get it. The punchline. Wait a minute. You're dead. How did you get here? All winter, trees were burnt out torches. My icebound birthday, Branches, silver filigreed, ignited larches lit like frozen spider webs. Slabs of broken mirrors on the ground and everywhere ice. The swish of unseen wings like tissue paper rustling and a brittle pattering rushing rain of glass. This is a night raga, a cityscape, impermanent reprieve. This glittering won't last. Soon pears will ripen, where wild poppies spell sadness, periwinkle, sweet memories, wormwood, eternal sorrow. The spindle tree stitches tender green twigs through my skin, braceleting wrists, piercing ears, interpreting the language of flowers and parting, the deciduous language of flesh. Your charms are imprinted on my heart. One more, not by me.
One more. Everyone, be sure your cell phones are off or leave. If your cell phones are off, then you leave.
This is a poem by
Please, cell phones out of sight and off.
the contemporary wonderful poet Philip Levine, who died a couple of years ago. He was around 80.
What's his name?
Philip Levine.
Philip Levine.
Yeah. And this is for Chuck, because I read this many moons ago and you loved it. So it's called And the Trains Go On. We stood at the back door of the shop in the night air where a line of boxcars of soured wheat and pop bottles uncoupled and was sent creaking down our spur. Once, when I unsealed the car and the two of us strained the door open with a groan of rust, an old man stepped out and tipped his hat. "It's all yours, boys." And he went off, stiff-legged, smelling of straw and shit. I often wonder whose father he was and how long he kept moving until the police found him, ticketless, sleeping in a second-class waiting room, and tore the cardboard box out of his hands and beat him until the ink of his book smudged and surrendered in separate bowels. In the great rail yard of Milano, the dog with the white throat and the soiled muzzle crossed and recrossed the tracks, searching for his master, said the boy, but his grandfather said no. He was sent by God to test the Italian railroads. When I lie down at last to sleep inside a boxcar of coffins bound for the villages climbing north, will I waken in a small station where women have come to claim what is left of glory? Or will I sleep until the silver bridge spanning the Mystic River jabs me awake and I am back in a dirty workshop shirt that says Phil, 24 years old, hungry and lost. On the run from a war no one can win. I want to travel one more time, with the wind whipping in the open door and you to keep me company, back the long tangled road that leads us home, through flat rock going east, picking up speed, the damp fields asleep in moonlight. You stand beside me, breathing the cold in silence. And when you grip my arm hard and lean way out and shout out the holy names of the lost, neither of us is scared and our tears mean nothing.
Very nice. Thank you. I'm going to introduce the next speaker, but just before I do, I want to ask Elizabeth about that title. Spring can really hang you up the most. Where did you get that title?
It's a song.
Huh?
It's a song.
I know. Fran Landesman. And how did she write it? She was doing a workshop in St. Louis with jazz musicians, and she quoted T.S. Eliot, "April is the cruelest month." And she said, "I want you all to paraphrase, April is the cruelest month." And one of the jazz musicians said, "Spring can really hang you up the most." So Fran Landesman used that for her musical, you know about this, which was, I forget what it was, in 1965 or so. So they got it to Broadway, but it didn't go. Anyway, that Spring Can Really Hang You Up the Most is the name of a song in a musical by Fran Landesman from St. Louis.
was not really written by her, but by one of her students, but she took the credit. Of course, at that time, all teachers took credit for everything students did.